If you're running a small business, you know that dealing with taxes can feel like a whole other job you never actually signed up for. But what if you had a playbook? A guide to all the free tools and resources the IRS actually provides to make it all, well, manageable. That's exactly what we're going to break down today. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about shifting your mindset. Then, we'll get into the digital tools you can use right now. After that, we'll navigate some of the trickier rules, figure out who to call when you need help, and we'll wrap up with how to stay ahead of the game. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first up, the IRS Small Business Playbook. And this is really all about making a mental shift from feeling totally overwhelmed by taxes to feeling like you're actually in control. And let's be real, this is how it feels for so many people, right? You've got all the forms, the deadlines, the weird acronyms. It's a lot. It really can feel like you're just wandering through this dark, complicated maze, just hoping you don't take a wrong turn and get a scary letter in the mail. But here's the thing, and this is so crucial. You don't have to memorize every single tax law. I mean, who could? The real key is knowing your playbook. It's about knowing which tools to use and where to find the answers. Honestly, knowing where to look is way more powerful than trying to know everything. So let's go ahead and open up that playbook and take a look at your digital toolkit. Think of these as your go-to resources, the stuff that's available to you 24/7, right from your computer. And your number one starting point, your home base for pretty much any question you have, is IRS.gov/SmallBiz. Seriously, bookmark this page. This is the Small Business and Self-Employed Tax Center, and it's designed to be the main portal for people just like you. And once you're there, you'll see just how much is packed into this site. There's an A to Z index if you have a specific question. There are resources for every stage of your business, whether you're just starting out or winding down. They even have dedicated info for specific industries, like the gig economy. It really is all there. Now, hiding inside that tax center is what might be the single most powerful tool for your day-to-day tax life, your business tax account. The best way to think about it is like your own personal dashboard for everything related to your business taxes. So what does that actually let you do? Well, you can log in and see your balance in real time. You can schedule payments so you don't forget them. You can pull your own tax transcripts instantly instead of waiting for them in the mail. You can even see official IRS notices and letters online. And this is a big one, you can grant access to your tax pro to make working together super easy. All right, now that we have our toolkit, let's talk about navigating the actual rules. We're not going to cover everything, but we're going to focus on a few key areas of compliance that tend to trip people up. First things first, the EIN, or Employer Identification Number. Basically, if you hire employees, or if you're set up as a corporation, or you have to file certain tax returns, you're gonna need one of these. The absolute simplest way to think about it is this. An EIN is for your business what a social security number is for you. It's how the IRS identifies your business. Next up, this is a big one for anyone who takes payments through services like PayPal, Venmo, or Stripe. It's about Form 1099-K. The rules are in the middle of a big change. For 2024, the reporting threshold is $5,000, but you need to be ready because it's set to drop over the next couple of years. Knowing this is coming now helps you plan ahead and avoids a nasty surprise down the road. Now, have you ever heard of a due diligence exam? It sounds pretty intimidating, right? If your tax preparer told you they got a notice for one, you'd probably start to sweat a little. But what is it really all about? And this is a really, really important distinction to understand. This exam is not an audit of your tax return. Let me say that again. It's not about you. It's an examination of your tax preparer's process. The IRS is just checking to see if your preparer is asking all the right questions and keeping the right records, especially when it comes to claiming certain tax credits. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. The preparer gets a letter, they provide the specific client files the IRS asks for, and then they do a phone interview with the IRS to talk about their procedures. It's just a checkup on the professional, not on you, the client.
But what happens when the website isn't enough and the rules are just too confusing? That's when you need to lean on your support system. So let's talk about what to do when you really need help.
Okay, picking a tax pro can be really confusing. This little chart breaks it down nicely. You've got enrolled agents, CPAs, and attorneys. They all have what's called unlimited representation rights. That means they can represent you on any tax issue for any tax year before any part of the IRS. Then you have someone who is an annual program participant. Their rights are limited. They can generally only talk to the IRS about a return that they actually prepared and signed. But let's imagine a scenario where you've tried everything. You've called the IRS, maybe you've even hired a great tax pro, but you are just stuck. You're in some kind of bureaucratic loop and you can't get your problem solved. Where do you possibly turn then? Well, you turn to the Taxpayer Advocate Service, or TAS. Think of this as your secret weapon. TAS is an independent organization that's actually inside the IRS. Their whole job is to be your voice, to be on your side. They're the ones who step in when the normal system breaks down, and they help you cut through the red tape. Take a good look at this number, $22,149.89. That is not a hypothetical number. That is the exact amount of a penalty that the Taxpayer Advocate Service got waived for one small business that was completely stuck. They were facing this huge failure to file penalty. TAS got involved, they secured the waiver, and the problem was solved. That's the kind of real-world impact they can have. Okay, let's bring it all home and talk about being proactive with your tax management. Because this is all about staying in control and being prepared. So hopefully you never need that kind of emergency help in the first place. Really, the goal is to build these steps into your regular business routine. It means keeping great records, of course. It means understanding and paying your estimated taxes on time so you don't get hit with penalties. And then there's the security side. Using strong, unique passwords and two-factor authentication everywhere you can. Always being on the lookout for phishing emails and W-2 scams. And knowing that if you ever suspect identity theft, you file Form 14039B right away. And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? After seeing all of these tools, all of these resources, these support systems, what's the big takeaway? Do you still see the IRS as just an enforcer that collects taxes? Or do you see it as a complex system, one that has its own playbook that you can actually learn to navigate and maybe even use to your own advantage? That's something we're thinking about.